Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of God Concept. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. Once again, we doing a pod in the park. It felt so good the other day that I had to do another one. Hey, here's a concept. Have you ever thought about the fact that you may not be you? You may not be your name, your personality, the person you are in this body. You know what I mean? You're your soul, ultimately, right? Your soul has a certain essence to it that you're attached to. Each life that soul lived is within your soul. Your soul has a membrane. It remembers all of that. So you are not really you. You are this soul using this vessel, given a name at birth. You learn traits and things like that, have characteristics. Some things you try, you may be really good at, and you never did these things before in your life, but you're still good at them for no reason. Like, damn, why am I so good at this for no, I never did this before. It just comes natural. That's the term they like to say. It comes natural. It's because your soul remembers the activity that you're doing. Your soul probably like doing that before in the past. Your soul holds memories. That's the only thing that gets transferred to the next level of life is the memories that your soul holds, your soul and all the experience that it retains. Because truly, when you pass from this life, it's not a day of judgment that you're going to go through. It's a day of reflection. It's a day of you being able to sit back with that, on that next level of life and reflect on everything you've been through and reflect on whether just reflect on that life, that whole lifespan, learn the lessons from that lifespan, and then that energy moves on. I don't know whether you get chastised or anything or any type of judgment based upon the bad or the good you did while you were here. I know you learn the lessons from the life you lived, though. Your soul remembers other souls, you know, and this all came about after that yesterday, after I did the pod in the park. I had a long, deep ass conversation with somebody close to me. So we had this long, deep ass conversation, and I'm realizing that I recognize who her soul actually, who the soul in this person really is. You know what I mean? I recognize like she has the soul of like a Native American king or some shit. You know what I mean? So it's like on a deeper level, you could really just tell that, like, okay, the LGBTQ thing, right? I do believe that a lot of gay and homosexual stuff is happening because you have souls that were previously females trapped in male bodies. And that's something we can't explain by science. Yeah, if God birthed you a man, then you're a man. Yeah, that's true. But what if you're going through an awakening period in your life? What if you're going through it? And all of our, after a while, your soul ultimately wants to do what it wants to do. Now, there's forces on this earth that control and manipulate and hold you back from doing what you want to do, like what I'm going through a lot of times, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, once you have that awakening, you know what I mean? It's like, what if you're awakening and your soul realizes that you're a man and it's a female soul, it's a feminine soul that a man has. What if that feminine soul recognizes a male that it used to, know or whatever, and now these two males are dating or whatever, or is just attracted to a man because it's a feminine soul. You know what I mean? So we gotta we got to be mindful. This is why they, give, rights and things like this. Not only because of that, because they're human beings, they deserve rights. It's a Commonwealth thing, but you know, you know, where is more life is multifaceted. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Life is multifaceted. It's like we're living here on this world physically. We're living here physically together, but we have a mental and we have a spiritual. So it's three levels of life that you live in. And we got to live the spiritual through the physical. We got to live the mental through the physical as well. And of course, we got to live our physical life. Sometimes the three don't quite mesh together, but we try to get them as closely, in sync as possible. So this way, we live the right life that we're meant to live. This way, mentally, you know, okay, if you feel good mentally, more than likely you feel good physically, right? If you feel good spiritually, you definitely feel good mentally and physically, right? And it's like sometimes it just don't match. This is why we think a lot of people are crazy out here. This is why we got a lot of differences and we think people are weird and quirky. It's because you're seeing someone and it's not really them. You're looking at a meat suit that a soul is wearing. You know what I mean? That's why Earth, Wind, and Fire got a song called Masquerade. And it's funny because I was looking for this song yesterday and I could not find this fucking song, man. And I'm upset about that. Maybe I got the title wrong. Maybe I got the name wrong. I don't think I do. But I was looking for this fucking song by Earth, Wind, and Fire called Masquerade. If anybody could find this song, please put it down in the comments. Send me a link or something to the song because I can't find it no more. But it goes like the whole. Oh, don't do that. Don't do me like that. Hold on. The whole world is a masquerade. Everybody wears another face. The whole world is a masquerade. Everybody wears another face. And that's the first time I sung today, so don't judge me. Don't fucking judge me. But that's the song. And it's basically saying you know, this is just me speaking on this is a hypothesis. This is me thinking about something that I'm not a part of, right? That I would love to indulge in, but I'm not there, right? Not that I know of anyway, but I believe that when you join a Masonic organization like the Masons or the Knights of the Templar, I mean, not, excuse me, or like the Eastern Stars and stuff, I think they put you through a ritual, right? Where it's like a mock death or whatever, right? It's like a mock death, like they pretend to kill you, but allows, this ritual gives your soul the impression that you literally encountered a death, right? So what it does is it unlocks the soul's full capability. So you will be able to know memories that your soul holds. It's like basically, you know how like in GTA, they got cheat codes and shit like that? It's like basically a cheat code that you're putting in GTA, but in real life. What they do over there. They could they could unlock untapped potential in you because they can make you remember things from your soul's memory. And that's just my theory. Because I've encountered people that seem like they know me. I've encountered people that I don't know that seem like they know me better than I know me. And I do believe that that's a lot of the games that we experience in our society today is based upon that. You know what I mean? Yeah, we live in our life. I don't want to get too spooky with it or whatever. But when you feel like you're targeted, when you not only feel like you're targeted, but you got proof that you're targeted in a way, right? In some type of way. And you start investigating everything. And you start noticing things on not just a physical level, on a mental level, on a spiritual level. When you start understanding all these things, it's like, you know, most people think once you get the instructions or the secret to the game or the code or whatever, you automatically win. Most people think once you set up there and figured it out that you automatically get the prize in the middle of the maze. But you don't. You don't. You got to utilize what you learned in order to get that. But before you can utilize what you learned, you going to fall a few times. Because what you learned is information that you're not used to. Information that's not readily available to everybody. Information that, knowledge that nobody's going to tell you. Nobody speak these type of words. There's only a few chosen ones who choose to reveal these type of things. People that y'all actually would listen to and watch. Like Kevin Gates. Like it's a few other people, but like Billy Carson. Um it's a lot of them out there. And I'm not talking about anybody's comedic science or research or comedic religion or comedic spirituality. It's just about how we all are connected. Because this world is a revolving door. It's a revolving, all this energy is cycle. When you leave here, what you're made of, the essence that animates you, that's allowing me to sit here and enjoy this coffee in this park right now and do my pod in the park episode, it returns. It returns back to the creator, back to the source. It has that reflection moment. It transfers all it. It dumps off everything that it had to take from this life, and it comes back. It comes back. That soul comes back. It's counted. Boop. Okay. It either comes back or it returns and it stays. Either or is up to the one that's making everything revolve. I'm gonna put it that way. Whether you reincarnate or not is up to the one who's making everything revolve. The one who's making all souls return and go back and return and come back and learn these lessons and go through trials and tribulations and, try to, you know, that's all up to the one who makes it all revolve. One thing about it is, there's a lot of turmoil around my life right now, in which I've been, placed in a way. And I know it's hard to really conceive that because a lot of people don't understand what's going on, but it's like, you know, I have the ability to be in a situation and step back from the situation and still reflect and see everything. Sometimes I get a little distracted. Sometimes I do it sooner than later. Sometimes I do it too late. Sometimes I jump back from the situation to pay attention after shit done got crazy. And then I'm like, oh shit. All right. Then I got to come back and try to mend everything and make everything right. But I'm done with going through that type of thing. I'm only gravitating towards the truth, respect, love, honesty, and devotion, man. I'm devoted to who's devoted to me. Me, first and foremost. Because if I can't do nothing for me, I can't do nothing for the people I love, the people who love me. You know, and I understand now that you know what I mean. I'm gonna pursue the things I need to pursue for the necessities in life. But other than that, I'm chasing my dream. I'm chasing my soul calling. We all have that soul calling, and we all out here really chasing that. Most of us, all of us know our soul calling. Whether you get to do it for the rest of your life and live out your dream, it's merely up to you and your circumstance and what distractions get put in your life, what temptations you fall into. You know, the game is deep, man. I'm telling you, this shit is not the game. I called it the game. What the fuck am I talking about, right? But this life we live is very deep, very intricate, more intricate than a lot of people will ever really realize. Because all they see is the physical. All they see is, what's here, what's on the surface level of life. You know, enthused with the TV, little phones and the gadgets and gadgets and shit. I'm one of them. Listen, my head has been wrapped up for a long fucking time in technology, in games, and all types of computers and fixing on this and fixing on that and collecting this and collecting that. I'm a hobbyist, you know. That's my only fucking crime is being a hobbyist, being an enthusiast, being a person that takes interest in things and starts to actually move about actually going to do those things that I'm taking interest in. You know, I'm not an actor, I'm not a pretender. Although I can act, I can get in character. I've trained myself and, mentally, spiritually, and physically trained myself. That's why a lot of times it's like a lot of men, I always bring up Charleston White. I fucks with Charleston White. I want to say that, man. But I say this a lot of time because he said that a lot of men ain't intact with their emotions, and he's right. But man, you know, once you have a spiritual awakening, man, you got to be more intact with your emotions. You can't be out here on some gung ho man type shit, like really think you like too hard because there's always somebody harder. Think you too this, too that. That's not the case. Most men don't realize this until they get incarcerated or some bullshit like that, or get shot or get hurt, stabbed, wind up in the hospital, and they realize that they're not invincible. His body's not invincible. You know, granted, some of our physical bodies can do more than others' physical bodies could do because they're more in tune with their mental and their spiritual. Hold on one second. And that's how that go. See, a person who's more in tune with their mental and their spiritual can do way more than a person who's not in tune with their mental and their physical. For a long time, I wasn't in tune with my mental, my physical, and my spiritual. That's what I meant to say, my spiritual and mental. You know what I mean? When you're in tune with your spirit and your with your spiritual and your mental, then your physical is going to be way more capable because you're more focused. More focused means you're using muscles, you're activating muscles and things that you can't activate in your normal range of doing things. It takes a certain level of being intact to really reach a level of exercising where now you're toning, you know what I mean? You're gaining muscle memory. You're gaining, you know what I mean? You're gaining it's a different type of workout. You know, only the athletes and people who do the workout and they reach that level of focus. It's like it's like damn near like they praying while they working out. It's like with every rep of doing whatever it is, whatever sit up or push up or crunch or dip, it's like they're praying. It's like they're praying and they're so focused and they're thinking, they're so object driven. You know what I mean? It's a different type of focus. Some people got to take illicit substances in order to reach that level of focus. I look at it like this. If you had to take an illicit substance to reach that level of focus, at least you fucking reached it. Ain't no shame in my game. You know what I mean? Things are put here on this earth, different herbs, and the illicit substances are made out of natural things anyway. But they package them up and they make them illegal or whatever because they get you high or they, alter your ego or alter your abilities because shit, you got some people that take steroids so they can gain more muscle mass and so they can run faster and things like this. Some people take illicit substances, drugs or whatever, certain vitamins to make them smarter. Some people smoke weed so they can have more of a spiritual connection with the creator. All of these are things that happens out here, you know what I mean? So if you took a drug to make you focus more, to make you more in tune with your mind and your spiritual, right? When you combine the holy trinity of you, your physical, your mental, and your spiritual. I was just trying to do that because I didn't want the ambulance to be too blaring while I'm trying to make my video. Yeah, but when you're able to really focus and really, focus and be in tune with your physical, and your spiritual, there's nothing that's inobtainable. There's nothing that, you know what I mean, that you can't do, given if you're allowed to. Given if you're allowed to. Because even that's monitored. You know what I mean? This is why people are able to really push through and really gain the viewership they do, the support that they do, because their words are cutting through. So it's not like they earned their spot. You know what I mean? It's like with YouTube, for example. You wonder how so many YouTubers sit up there and get hundreds and thousands of views and stuff like that. How so many podcasts are able to, you know what I mean, Spotify, podcasts, whatever, are able to do the numbers that they do. It's because they're saying things that resonate with viewers, with people that's watching. And it cuts through. It cuts through. The truth always cuts through the bullshit. That's why even if maybe I don't articulate what I have to say properly, right? The first time on my podcast, I'll come back around and I'll say it again another time on a different episode or something like that, because I'm putting my truth, not just my truth, our truth out here on this podcast. Because when I'm experiencing, we're all experiencing. I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for all of us as a collective. And you can go back to my earliest, well, not my earliest Instagram post or whatever, or my account. I've always, like, when I discover things and I discover some shady shit, I took it straight to social media because I don't want I don't want my truth not to be seen, not to be heard. And a lot of times our truth is not seen or heard. You know, I lived my life a long time worried about this, worried about that, being fearful of this, being fearful of that. You know, trying to prepare myself for something that's, I don't know, just preparing myself, just being ready. You know, having a bug out bag and just being ready for whatever comes because you always got this fear of World War III, of World War this or that. You got fear of people attacking America and things like that. And man, I'm a protector. I'm a homebody. I'm a family guy, and I'm a protector, man. I'll go to bat for somebody else before I go to bat for myself a lot of times. I could take punishment and abuse and shit like that, right? But I don't like to see somebody else punished and abused. I don't like that. You know, I procrastinate at times because I'm not a perfect person. I procrastinate at times, especially when I don't know what to do, or I'm confused, or I'm in a situation that I just don't understand. I overthink. I take my time. You know, sometimes the choices I make are not always right. I don't admit. I mean, I was about to say I don't admit being wrong. I meant to say I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But when I'm right, and I know I'm right, and nobody won't admit that I'm right because they're wrong, or their wrong might be so secretive, or so, you know, their secret may be so big that they can't admit the wrong that they did because it's attached to this big ass secret, this whole facade, this whole, you know, it's sad, man. But it's okay because it's life. It's life. We live, we learn. You know, you just got to learn that you're not in control of anything out here. You're not really in control of anything out here. You know, you're not in control of anything. The only thing you control, you could try to, you have to learn these types of control though. These type of controls come with a lot of discipline, focus, and self-control. You always have to be able to control your emotions. If you can't control your emotions, then what else can you control? You know what I mean? You have to learn how to control what you think, what's on your mind, your mental fortitude. If you can learn to really control your emotions and really exercise your emotional control, exercise your mental fortitude, your mental control. These things will help you in the physical world because everything that you do physically is built out of what? Mental and spiritual. Your spirit has to be in the fight before you can fight. Your spirit has to be in the fight before you can fight. If your soul isn't in it, normally your mind isn't even making the proper calculations to make the proper moves that you need to win the fight that you're in. You have to be firing at all cylinders. You have to be firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? And it's control what you can control. You control you. It starts with you. And that's not my point of view. That's the truth. That's not my point of view. That's the truth. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're in a fucked up situation and you can't help being in that fucked up situation. You want to be out of that situation so bad that you choose to go make stupid choices and do, stupid things that can get you in a lot of trouble because you don't want to be in a situation that maybe you can learn from. Maybe you could build from and do the positive things. See, that's the only, it's our choices. Some of us make the wrong choices in a bad situation. Some of us make the right choices in a bad situation. It's going to make us look like we're wrong about making those choices. It's going to put us in a light where those choices, anybody could look and say, "Oh no, you was wrong because for this or that or that." But if you wouldn't have made those choices, maybe you would be in an even worse situation. Maybe your choices were forced. A lot of our hands are forced to make certain situations. A lot of us, you know, are out here and we feel like physically, like mentally and spiritually, not physically, but mentally and spiritually, you could feel a level of extortion going on. You could feel a level of entrapment going on. You could feel a level of exploitation going on in our everyday society, in our everyday lives. Because there's somebody always doing these three things in your life at any given time. The three E's. There's always somebody doing any one of these things or all three of these things in your life at any given time. And it's just that way, you know. No matter what you dealt though, man, no matter what hand you dealt, just don't let it change who you are. Don't feed into any negative thoughts. I'm gonna give it to you like that. Don't feed into any negative thoughts. Because any wealth, respect, or monetary gain gained from doing negative things out of negative thoughts, having negative actions and impact are short lived. Anything you gained out of doing negative things will be short lived. You could get away with doing negative shit for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, however long. But as we always see, especially with our celebrities, because they're the ones that we look at and we're, so enthused with, when you doing negative shit, and I'm not shining a light on P. Diddy, you know what I mean? Much respect to the man. I hope he, you know what I mean? I hope his situation turn out, you know, in a good way. I don't want to see the man behind jail. I don't like seeing people that, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm not even gonna speak of it because we got people that's against him and we got people that's for him. It is what it is with me. You know what I mean? It's like he got placed in that situation, and I just hope he makes it out of that situation. I'm gonna put it that way. He got placed in that situation, and I hope he make it out of that situation. That's all I can say about that. Same as R. Kelly. He got placed in that situation. I hope he makes it out of that situation. They denied his appeal. He was trying to, get free, and he was denied. You know what I mean? Whoever get in a situation, like that, I hope they make it out of their situation. I hope they make it out better, stronger, you know what I mean? I hope they make it out intact so they could get out here and be in the right state of mind, be in the right state of being, and just be amongst their loved ones, man. People do a lot of fucked up shit to make it to where they at in life, but it's allowed. And if it's allowed, then you can't come back years later and then deem them to be monsters and shit like that. You should have never allowed them to do it. And then once you catch them later on down the line, it's like, hey, it is, you know what I mean? That's the Libra scale, right? That's why I say, just do positive. Just think positive. Because anything that you could acquire in life, right? It takes a lot more time. It takes a lot more effort. It takes a lot more, learning lessons, you know what I mean? Failures to learn from and shit like that. But a failure ain't even a failure because you learn from it, right? So it's like it takes a lot more, playing around and practicing and trying this and trying that until you can really get it right and really, do things in a positive way that's going to manifest in money and time and love and happiness and doing the things that you love in life. But it's worth it. It's worth it doing it the positive way because if you do it the positive way, can't nobody take it from you in the end. It's going to look a bit rougher. It's going to be a lot harder doing it the positive way. But at least you don't lose your life doing it the positive way. At least you don't got motherfuckers shooting, gunning you down in the streets. At least you don't got, you know, people setting you up and robbing you, doing this and that. I mean, when you're doing it the positive way, they try to set you up and all that type of shit. That's another thing. That's another caveat. When you're doing things the positive way, you cannot let outside people into your life. When you're doing things the positive way, you cannot let outside people into your life. And it's sad to say because you want more friends, you want that connection, but you can't really invite everybody into your life because you're doing things and your life is based upon the things that you do. You can't let anybody influence anything other than doing what's positive and doing what's right. You know, you always got that one friend that just wanna. You always got that one friend who just wanna go out, party, hang out, do drugs, do this, do that. You can't even have that in your life. If you want that, you have it in a controlled atmosphere. Because anytime you're doing when you're partying in somebody else's controlled atmosphere, they're controlling you. They're controlling your atmosphere. They can spike your punch. They could sprinkle some Molly in your weed or whatever. They get you fucked up to the point where you pass out. Then they could do whatever they want to do with you. They could drug you, tie you up, fuck you, and rob you. And you'll never know. You would never know but you know your shit missing. You would know your things missing, and you know your ass hurt. Your wallet gone, your property gone, and your fucking butt hurt, and your dick is moist, and your dick is moist. They done drugged you, tied you up, fucked you, and robbed you. And a lot of us allow this to happen in our life by allowing new people into our life. Whether these new people was attached to people that you already knew or not. Because that's the only reason we allow a new motherfucker in our life in the first place. Because they're attached to somebody that we already knew in our life. So they got that in. You know what I mean? That's always the setup. When you know what I mean? When you meet a friend of a friend, watch them. Watch them friends of a friend. Watch them friends of a friend. Watch them family members of family. Watch them family members of family. They not your family. They your family members' family. Watch them motherfuckers. I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience. You know what I mean? It's a vicious game they run on us out here, man. But once you wise up to it and once you learn, you know what I mean? It is what it is. From there, you don't, you know what I mean? From there, you just take it as a learning lesson and just continue on. Whatever you may have went through in your life, just take it as a learning lesson, you know, and continue on with your life. It's never a crash out moment. People don't realize, but that term crashing out, I hate when I hear my son say crashing out and shit like that. You know what I mean? I mean, they just be playing around, you know, on the game or whatever, but it's like, I hate hearing that shit because it's like, crashing out is saying that that's like committing suicide. A lot of folks don't even realize that. That shit like saying like you're gonna commit suicide. You're gonna do something to force somebody to take your life. That's what that's saying. Crashing out is basically saying you're about to do something and you're gonna force somebody to sit up there and take your life. That's basically what you're saying when you're saying crash out. The goal is never to crash out. The goal is never to lose life. You never want to lose life. The whole objective in any mission is to maintain life, right? In any military mission, right? When they go out, when they send the SEAL Team 6 out or whatever on a mission, on a secret mission, what's their main goal? To for, to not have casualties, neutralize all enemies, or don't raise suspicion, right? Don't raise suspicion to the enemies, and also to make sure there's no casualties, right? That's always the thing. It's like if one of your men go down or somebody get hurt, you want to make sure they make it home safely, right? That's always the goal. So you know, you never want to crash out. Stop using that term crash out. That shit corny. That shit is weird. I mean, it's a catchy term, you know what I mean? But nah, you never crash out. You want to maintain your life. You want to maintain the optimal, maintain, functional. You know what I mean? If you crash out, if I sit up here and crash out, what's that showing to my loved one? What's that showing to people I care about? A lot of times, especially our youth, they think it's strength in it's strength in willing to give your life over something petty, over something stupid, but it's not strength in that. You gotta be able to control yourself. That's how a lot of the traps we run into, a lot of the, and I'm guilty of it too. A lot of the traps we run into is because we don't know how to control ourselves, especially when things is going haywire in your life. You don't know how to control yourself. Mental fortitude, emotional control. Control your thoughts. Be positive in the way you think. Be positive in the way you treat others. Be positive in the, you know what I mean? Well, that's my episode. I ain't gonna talk your head off. Um, there's more coming. There's more podcasts, more music, more books. I wanted to get. I'm gonna just talk about things that I wanted to talk. You know what I mean? Things that I was had plans on doing. I wanted to do some children's books for like the holiday season and things like that, but I got a lot of things on my plate. So I'm gonna hold off on the children's books, the holiday books and things like that. But I got a lot of things in mind that I got to get going. I'm just navigating my way through this maze right now. I'm gonna put it that way. I'm navigating my way through this maze right now. Once I come out on the other side, you know, once everything's on the up and up, and I could finally breathe and finally just, be, I'm at peace. But, once I could just finally just, just woosah, everything gonna start flowing again. You know, I'm still, I'm still just doing what I'm called to do. I'm still, in tune with doing what, doing what my soul is calling me to do, what visions I have, you know what I mean? What visions I have, what things I have to do. I'm just doing that. And as long as it's positive, I'm going to be doing just that. Everything that I'm doing is just purely based on that, man. Once again, I appreciate you. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. I appreciate you guys for staying this long, watching me. You know, spread some love, man. Share some joy. Yeah. Peace. God Concept Podcast. Peace.